Hi, I'm Rory Sheehan, and welcome to Meditative Conditioning in our series on working with the pendulum. Today we're going to be looking at how to use the pendulum in order to get yes or no answers from your subconscious mind. If you haven't watched the first few videos in this series, please take the time to go back because they set the foundation of where we're going. So at this time, we're going to learn how to use the pendulum as a tool to ask yes or no questions and get yes or no answers from our subconscious mind. Now, as I mentioned in one of our earlier videos, I'm going to touch on some somewhat controversial ideas, and here's one of them. There's a lot of videos online that talk about how to program your pendulum, and we're going to take a different approach. And it's really, really important the way we do it. It's very, very important for moving forward. So if you strongly disagree, that's okay. Keep doing it the way you're doing it, but you'll see why as you move on to some more advanced skills, why it's so important. So traditionally, somebody will tell you to hold your pendulum up and say to the pendulum, show me a direction for yes, show me a direction for yes, and the pendulum will start moving, and then it'll show me a direction for no. We're not going to take that approach. What we're going to do is we're going to dictate the direction for yes and the direction for no. And the reason is that we want to get our subconscious mind comfortable with us telling our subconscious mind how we want our subconscious mind to behave. We're the adult, the subconscious mind is a child. And why that's so important is later on, we're going to say, I want to achieve this particular goal. And our subconscious mind is going to say, okay, I'm used to you asking for my help, telling me how you want to do it. And our subconscious mind is going to move forward and do it. If we don't provide that direction, then later on, we're going to say, well, I want to achieve a goal. And our subconscious mind is going to go, okay, well, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to do it? Should I do it this way? And it just causes all sorts of confusion. So starting right now, we're going to get in the habit of teaching our subconscious mind that there's a certain way that we want to do things. So what we're going to do, hold your pendulum, and we're going to swing it forwards and back. And as we swing it forwards and back, we're going to say, this is the direction that represents yes, this is the direction that represents yes, this is the direction that represents yes. And then we're going to stop the pendulum and swing it side to side and say, this is the direction that represents no, this is the direction that represents no, this is the direction that represents no. And then just to make it a little bit easier, we're going to hold it steady and say steady represents ask a better question. So sometimes we're going to ask questions that our subconscious mind is just not able to answer, not prepared to answer. So steady is ask a better question. So we're just going to say steady represents ask a better question. Steady represents ask a better question. Steady represents ask a better question. So now we have three positions. We have forwards and back for yes, side to side for no, and steady that represents ask a better question. And now what we want to do is we want to test it. So we're just going to ask, now we're going to ask, show me the direction for yes, show me, and then we've got the pendulum moving forwards and back. Show me the direction for no, and the pendulum will start to move from side to side. And show me the direction for ask a better question, which is kind of a funny one because we have to ask a good question in order to get it to show us the answer for asking a bad question. So instead he represents asking a poor question. So now we have our yes, no, and ask a better question directions. Now please understand, every single time you use a pendulum, you have to reprogram it. The subconscious mind is almost like a 5-year-old child, and it's going to play games every once in a while. So it might change the direction in order to have some fun. So we want to make sure that we program our pendulum every single time we use it. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to ask the pendulum a question that we know the answer to with 100% certainty. So is my name Rory? And the pendulum should very quickly say yes. And then I can say, is my name Michael? And the pendulum should say no. So now we've got a direction for yes and no. And once we have a direction for yes and no, then we can start asking our pendulum questions. Now, let's be careful. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Our next video in this series is actually going to be about how to ask questions to your pendulum, to your subconscious mind, so you can get better answers. But we want to be very careful of the questions we ask ourselves. So let's set some foundation. We want to ask questions that our subconscious mind could reasonably know the answer to. So if I ask, is it going to rain tomorrow? Can my subconscious mind reasonably know the answer to that? No. So that's not a good question. Will somebody else behave in a certain way? well, my subconscious mind doesn't know the answer to that. So now we have a problem. And if we're not at the right vibrational frequency, we may get some silly answers that are really not our subconscious mind communicating to us in a positive way. So we want to be very careful about the questions we ask. So just for today, I want you to get comfortable programming the pendulum so that you can clearly identify directions for yes, directions for no, and a direction for asking a better question. And then our next video, we're going to go into more detail about how to ask questions, and then we're going to start putting it all together. So I hope you enjoy these videos. If you do, please hit the like button. Remember to subscribe and click on the bell so that you can get notified when we post other videos in the series. So until next time, I hope you enjoy this series on how to get a better understanding of the pendulum. And I'm Rory Sheehan, and wishing you a fantastic day. Thanks.